Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
At Darlington, we're proud to wear purple and white.
Because Tigers strive for greatness.
In the classroom and on the field.
We know that we can do anything, be anything,
achieve anything.
We're part of a program that is 100% dedicated to nourishing our minds and our bodies.
As teammates, we push each other further than we ever thought we could go.
Because every single one of us has something to contribute.
We practice hard so that when we compete, we can leave it all out on the field.
With each win, we build confidence.
With each loss is a lesson.
Our coaches teach us more than technique.
They prepare us to be good teammates,
friends, and people.
We face adversity together
and push through to reach our goals.
We may struggle,
but we will never give up.
Because today,
tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our two founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
Water is the building block of life. At Abernathy Pump Service, we ensure you have the clean, reliable water you need. Whether it's water treatment, pump repair, or installation, our experts are here to serve both residential and commercial clients across North Georgia. With decades of experience, we guarantee top-notch service and quality you can trust. For all your water needs, choose Abernathy Pump Service. Because water is life, and we're here to keep it flowing. Call us today to schedule your service.
It's time for the Coach Groves Show, where we sit down with the head coach of the Darlington Tigers football team and talk about all things Darlington School football. Now we go live to Matt Davis and Ian Griffin, who are standing by with Coach Wayne Groves.
Good evening, everyone out there in WLAQ land. We're glad to have you with us tonight.
What a beautiful land.
It is. It's a beautiful land. We're glad to have you with us for this edition of the Coach Groves Show. Coach, how you doing tonight?
Very good. Very good. We got the fall festivities going on here.
No, Matt's gone above and beyond.
Yeah, nice
with
little
the decorations.
It really ties the room together.
Yeah.
Well, we got the set design team together, and they did this.
I mean-
well, it's actually me and my mom and my sister.
Did they tell you to take any rug you wanted in the house? Is that how it works out? Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But you know what? We were talking about this just before we went on the air, but next week, the show is the day before Halloween. So
Yeah,
who knows
yeah.
what we can come up with for that.
Excellent, excellent. My 9-year-old is a Halloween enthusiast, so I'll see if we've got anything we can lend you as far as decorations. We have no shortage.
We need a skull and some bones
Got
in
it
here.
covered.
Oh, gotta have that.
Done.
And we will just leave that in here.
Yeah. I'll make sure to bring them up next week. But we're coming off a big win on Alumni Weekend for the Darlington Tigers. Coach, let's jump into these questions. Fantastic performance, 31-0 win. Felt like you guys executed in all three phases of the game. Pitched a shutout. I know that's always special, especially for a defensive guy like yourself. So what are your thoughts on the win last week?
Well, I was real proud of the boys. It's a huge region win, and it locks us into the playoffs. In one of those top 4 spots right now. But I like how our team went out and we took control of the ball game early. In the past, I've always thought that as a defensive coach, you want to defer to the second half. And want to go out and stop someone and then go down in there and score. Well, with our offense and how we have the ability to control the football. Teams are going to take the ball anyway to not let us have it. So I've been in the mindset this year of you're taking the football if we win the toss, and we're going to go down and set the tone right now. And our team definitely did that. We had 3 good drives right in the first half. I think one of them went 12 plays, one of them went 16 plays, and those 7 minutes and 6-minute drives. And, when you can keep other teams' offense off the field, you control the football game. That's what I was the most proud of. And I thought we executed really well in all 3 phases.
This is Coach Grove's show. We're so glad you're with us today. And Coach, next question is, every team, as the season progresses, develops its own identity, character as you go through the season. So if you were having a conversation, and most people watching this, I suppose, knows this team pretty well, but if you were talking to somebody that never had seen the team play, unfamiliar with this group, how would you describe them?
Well, what I would say, with any team, hopefully they're buying into what myself and the assistant coaches are preaching to them. One, we have a set of core values for our football team, and our core values are toughness, integrity, family, trust, and then pride. And so when we talk about toughness, we talk about mental and physical toughness. So, I would say our team is mentally and physically tough by being down in a lot of games and having a no-quit mentality, next play mentality. The next is we wanted to have integrity. We don't just want them to be good football players and good athletes. We want them to be good men. So we talk about life lessons and stuff like that a lot. And so hopefully my team's got great integrity. And then we have a family as our third one. We feel like we have our Dirty 30 brotherhood is one that is unmatched. I think our culture is really good as far as, everybody's pulling for everybody to get better. Everybody's working hard to push the other guy to be better than he was the day before. And so we feel like that's a part of it. Trust. We want the players to trust in the program, trust in the coaches, trust in each other. So trust goes a long way in the system and what we're trying to get accomplished. And then I want them to have pride. I want them to have pride in wearing that white helmet with that purple paw. And I want them to have pride in their school. And I want them to have pride in their personal performance and how they prepare and how they practice and how they handle themselves on the practice field and in the community too.
He mentions the helmet with the white helmet with the purple paw. Just have to look over it and admire it, sitting over here on the table.
Yeah, and I think we've done a good job with the preaching to them about the Jolly Roger Black Flag mentality. That we'll never quit, we'll never back down, we'll never surrender, we'll never lose faith, and we'll just keep coming after folks. And if we lose, we'll correct mistakes and keep moving forward. And if we win, we'll analyze and see what we could have done better, and then still keep moving forward. And I think that's our program culture in a quick 2-minute nutshell. And I believe that's what you're seeing this year on the field.
Well, Coach, one such player that embodies all of that is last week's Honeymoon Bakery Player of the Game. That was Sammy Konchesky. It's his 3rd time winning the award this year. He threw a touchdown pass to his brother Nate, rushed for 2 touchdowns, had an interception on defense as well. I mentioned he's won this thing 3 times already. It's a lot of fun watching brothers connect on a touchdown pass like we just referenced. So tell us about Sammy's performance last week, and then also, what's the experience of coaching brothers like for you?
Well, Sammy's doing exactly what I thought Sammy could do in our system, in our offense and defense, and he's continued to get better each week. He's getting more comfortable in the secondary, being a vocal leader, communicating coverages and coverage checks and things like that. And then he's doing the same thing on the offensive line. He's getting better reading the inside and outside veers. He's getting better at reading the midline doubles and triple options. And he's making checks up there that's getting us in the right play when we don't have the best look that we want to have. And so we're going to be as good as Sammy leads us on offense. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's the one that makes it go. If he reads it right, then I feel like there's no team that can stop us. So that's a lot of pressure on him. But a kid like Sammy, he wants that pressure. He embraces that pressure, and he rises to the occasion when he gets the opportunity. With the brothers, that's always pretty cool. When my wife says, "Oh, I just love it when Sammy throws it to Nate." It just makes my heart happy. And I think a lot of people, see it that way too. That's pretty cool, brother to brother, and definitely it's cool for the parents and grandparents to be able to see their kids really executing like that. And Jess also said that it reminded her when we were at Rome when Zach Kadam was our left tackle, Knox Kadam was our quarterback. When he would block, have a good block, and Knox would score. It was the same. Warm, fuzzy feeling inside with brother blocking for brother and that kind of thing.
We normally call it brotherly love.
Right.
Some of our calls, we can't resist that.
Well, you just know that they grew up in the backyard drawing those plays up, playing for their favorite teams. And so to see it happen on a big stage like that, it's always special.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, last Friday was the last regular season home game on the schedule, and there's no doubt it's exciting for you and your team to get that one in the manner which you did. We mentioned the shutout and scoring 31 points, everything that went into that game. So, Coach, if you don't mind sharing, what was the theme of your post-game speech? And I'll preface that by saying I saw it posted on the internet, so I got to watch a little bit of it. But tell us about the theme of your post-game speech to your team and their families after the game, if you don't mind.
Well, one, I'm going to congratulate the boys for their efforts and what they did. I told them I was proud of them, of how we took control of the ball game early, like we talked about. I told them I thought it was the first time that we really put all three faces together: offense, defense, special teams. We controlled the football. We took care of the football, and so that was part of it. The second part was, I'm glad they worked hard to get the bragging rights in this thing, and that's important for them too. It's important, and they've earned the right, by the way they've not just practiced last week, and I thought we had a really good week of practice last week, which set us up for that. But, just how they've prepared. And that I tell them that's why the coaches, we push you. That's why we stay on you about doing things the right way in the weight room, on the practice field, so we can have moments like that. When I see the boys smiling, that lets me know that myself and all the assistant coaches' hard work was worth it when they get to have those moments. And then go to have a good homecoming. It's always good to win. Yeah. So you got to answer the questions. We talked about that last week. You don't want to answer the questions of why you lost the game. You want to get congratulated on and say, good job that you won the game. And so the boys got to have a good homecoming and had some fun. Not too much fun, but they had some fun. And I think everybody was happy at Lakeside.
And then right back to work for a big matchup coming up this weekend and finishing off the season with a couple of road games as far as the regular season's concerned. And then we'll see everything shakes out after those two games conclude. Well, that's going to put a wrap on our first segment. When we come back, we're going to talk about the black shirts. And then at the same time, we're going to have the Getting to Know Coach Grove segment. And we're going to be talking about travel today. So we'll get into that in just a few minutes. But first, we've got to take a break. This is the Coach Grove Show, and we shall return.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
Well, I promise you we don't have an 80s question coming up today, as I referenced just before we went to the break. We'll get back to that, though, I'm sure, because we were talking about the Van Halen thing again here during the break. And it was a short break, too, and it came up. But got a couple of comments here on our live feed that we'll mention real quick before we move into our next questions. But we got a Let's Go Tigers from Kelly Fountain. And then he's also let us know that he's ordered his Darlington head football coach Halloween costume is being shipped.
Okay. So, all right. Can't wait to see that.
Heard it here first on the Coach Grove Show.
Can't wait to see it.
How about that?
All right. Well, let's just go ahead and jump back in.
Yeah. This segment's always a lot of fun, and we always start it by talking about your black shirts. So those are awards that go out to people who performed well on offense, defense, special teams, and then your scout team. So let's talk about those guys this week.
All right, first on offense. This is a kid that's played, spot played, and started some ball games before, but he's kind of had been out of the lineup for a little bit, for a few weeks, and really stepped in, and I was extremely pleased with him. Colton Moman ended up starting on the offensive line last Friday, and I thought he had a really good ball game. He's fitting up linebackers, and he's doing a great job on all his blocking and being really physical with there. And Colton, Colton doesn't weigh 165 pounds, but he's out there freaking grinding and playing with a chip on his shoulder and playing as physical as he possibly can. And so we had a lot of guys that blocked well, but that stood out. I thought Trenton Moore had a good game, blocking, and I thought Noah Duggan did some good things on offense, but Colton Moman been able to step in that hadn't started in a few weeks and be able to play at a high level. I thought that was really good. On defense, it's been a little while since he got one, and we had when you shut people out, there's a lot of good defensive play going on. But Sam 20 played the best. He had ended up having 7 tackles, but he had the least misreads at linebacker. He had the least non-commits of anybody on defense, and that's a non-commit. I consider you didn't play your position the right way, like you've been coached, or within the scheme or the call of the defense on that particular play. So Sam 20 played really well. We thought. Noah Duggan had 10 tackles, kind of an honorable mention role. Evan Parton had a lot of production and a sack, but we thought Sam 20 was the one that earned the black shirt. On special teams, and we've mentioned his name the last few weeks, and I think probably the last 3 games he's had a tackle or multiple tackles on special teams. He had the same thing this week, made another impact on special teams. So Stuart Grigsby gets the special teams black shirt. Trenton punted the ball well when he had the time. He had the big run on the bobble snap there, and
we saw the smile on your face after that. Just so you know, man,
right there, he had a big play. But we thought Stewart, just with his consistent play and then having another big productive night on special teams, earned him the black shirt. Simulation scout offense, all right, goes to a newcomer. He's a new guy that's first time out for football. He is from Nigeria, and from Nigeria to Smyrna to Darlington, Isaac Adiola. And so Isaac did a great job playing scout team simulation guard last week. A lot of the pulls on the counters and all the powers. He's giving us that good look, and he's just consistently getting better. And I think he's going to be a name that's probably going to be on your radar next year. He has a good off-season in the weight room and keeps learning his football knowledge. He's going to be one that's going to step in and be a contributor next year. So Isaac Adiola is going to get the simulation offense. On simulation scout team defense, it's a name that's been consistent, and again, we're very high on this kid. Thinks he's got a lot of potential in the future, and that's Caleb Covington. He's a linebacker, a sophomore linebacker, plays some wide receiver, and he keeps getting better every day. He's a great lifter in the weight room. And he just keeps on pushing himself, keeps on working to develop his skills. And he's just quite not good enough to break into the starting lineup yet because we got some older guys in front of him. But he's going to be a ball player, and he's making plays on special teams, if you'll notice too. So Caleb Covington gets the Simulation Scout D Award.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to those guys. And again, a segment that we always really enjoy getting to hear about the Tigers and the good things that they are doing to help the team succeed. And it's been a fun season so far. And we got a couple of regular season games left. We're going to jump into the next game on the list at Temple coming up in our next segment. But we're going to wrap up this segment by having the Getting to Know Coach Groves question of the week. And this week is related. It's going to be related to travel. So what we want to know is, where is somewhere that you would like to travel to, but that you have not been to yet?
Well,
you got to travel.
Just like about most people in Rome, Georgia, I've been to Panama City. I've been to Destin, and a lot of different other places in the United States. But I think, kind of bucket list stuff. The Groves family, my great grandparents came from Ireland and Scotland. I think it'd be cool to go back there one day to see where the Groves family came from, and just see some of that. I think I'd like to go I've been to Rome, Georgia, lived here. I think I'd like to go to Rome, Italy, and see some of that. Just all the history and all the sites there. I think would be really cool to spend a week or two there and enjoy that. And then sports. I'd like to go see the Army-Navy game. I'd like that to be a trip. I'd like to, and I haven't been to Chicago Wrigley Field or Boston Fenway, so I'd like to do that. And then, Grayson's about to the age where we could go Disney World. So that's going to be a trip coming up pretty soon, I think, in the next couple of years. I've never been. My wife's been multiple times growing up, but I've never been. So me and Grayson are going to experience together and
awesome.
do Disney World. So that'll be fun.
It's awesome, man. Let me know if you need some pro tips. That's a trip I've made a few times. So
I haven't been since I was probably 11 or 12 years old. So it's been a long time since I've been there. But
we were just there in February, and it's a good time, especially if you like to ride.
You got anything left on your travel bucket list?
I've covered a lot. I've covered a lot of it,
places.
especially in the States, but I haven't gotten I haven't gotten over the pond and gone to Europe. And I get my nice little pale skin complexion from Scotland and Ireland too. So I've got to get over there and check that out. There's a lot of places. If I'm going to get to Europe, I'm going to try to take a month and see it all while I'm there, because I don't know if I'd ever make it back. So, but yeah, I'd like to see all the sites of it. Go to Spain, Germany, all of it.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I saw a joke not too long ago, and it said that after 40, men either really get into World War II history or they get into smoking various meats. And it's funny because when I saw that, I laughed, because I'm like, man, I got a double whammy, because I like doing both of those things quite a bit. But I'd also like to go over to Europe. But both of my grandfathers, they were in the Pacific, but they were in World War II. And in recent years, I've kind of gotten into learning more about the history and watching the Band of Brothers and Pacific and all that kind of stuff. And they have these Band of Brothers type themed cruises that they do, where you can go to the beaches of Normandy and go to Bastogne and go to different places in Germany and things of that nature, and tour different places of historical significance related to World War II. So I'd like to do that. But at the same time, I'd like to see some different places in Germany and Switzerland. I really like to look at mountains. So I'd like to see the Swiss Alps and things of that nature. But I also would like to find myself across the pond.
Nice.
So anyway, anything anybody else would like to add to that?
I got a few stadiums to cross. I've been to a bunch of them, but I need to get to the Rose Bowl. I need to see a game. I've heard you have to go to Allen Fieldhouse in Kansas, and then I want to get to a game out of UCLA too for some basketball.
I'm not a huge NFL fan necessarily. I'm more interested in seeing different college, stadiums and things of that nature. But I would like to make it to Lambeau at some point.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Anyway, well, that's going to wrap up this segment. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to start talking about the next game, and that's going to be at Temple against the Tigers. So when we say go Tigers, we're going to have to get a little bit more specific at the end of the show. Right. Got to make a mental note. Go Darlington Tigers. But anyway, we'll be back after these messages on the Coach Grove Show.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection, or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
All right, we welcome you back here for our final segment of the Coach Grove Show. We're glad you're with us on the YouTube channel, also Facebook Live feed, or you may be listening to the radio edition on Friday night. We'll get to that point, but we're just going to go ahead and jump back into our questions with Coach Groves. And Coach, You guys are hitting the road 2 weeks in a row to close out the regular season. First up is a trip to Temple for a Battle of the Tigers. Temple 6-2, 3-1 in region play. It's a big game with playoff implications. So what all is potentially at stake in this particular game? Obviously, the goal is to win every game, but how important is this game into region play?
Well, it's extremely important because you have playoff seedings and you have power rankings that are implications that are on the line there. So, mathematically, we've secured the top 4 spot in the region, which typically gives you a playoff berth. So we're there. We're going to make the playoffs, and so now we're working on just moving to I feel like if we win 1 or 2 of these games, we're going to get a home playoff game. If we can win both of them and we play really well, we'll get a bye in the first round and a home playoff game. And so that's what we're shooting for. And it feels good. And that's what I've talked to the kids about. You control your own destiny. What we do, we control this. If we go out and handle business and we do what we're supposed to do, then you're going to set yourself up for a good playoff run. And that's what we want. We want to set ourselves up for the best possible playoff run. And, what I always tell them, if we can get to the Sweet 16, all the teams are good now. Anything can happen, and you can make a run. And why not us? That's been the message. Why not us? So that's what we're shooting for. That's what we're preparing for, and hopefully we can get that done.
Well, Coach, let's dive into your opponent a little bit. Temple has been putting together one of the most successful seasons they've had in program history. We talked about their record in that last question, 6-2, overall 3-1 in region play. How would you describe this team after watching their film?
Well, what in the coaching world, people have always said, Temple's always got, dudes. They've always had guys. And I don't, for whatever reason, they hadn't put it together, but it seems like they've had a consistent coaching staff. And that's usually how you develop a successful program is you have consistency in your coaching staff. You don't have a lot of turnover. And so they've had that. They've got some good position coaches, good coordinators there. And so they've developed the team and they've got some really good players. So what you're going to see out of them is they're going to be very athletic. They're going to play 4-4 cover 3 on defense. Now they do some things, up front and move the front a little bit and change that up, but they try to keep that 4-4, cover 3 shell as much as possible. On offense, they're a very good wing tee offense. I mean, they're a true wing tee. You're going to get power. You're going to get counter. You're going to get trap. You're going to get the boots. You're going to get the waggles and belly passes. You're going to get the jet sweeps and rocket tosses. And they run it. There's a little bit of midline in there, midline double option. So you got enough to prepare for. They do a great job with formations and stuff like that. They're not as crazy as some wing tee teams get. I've game planned against some teams. In 2017, Ware County was true wing tee with Franklin Stevens, and we broke them down. They had 128 different formations. Whoa. Temple is not quite that, but there's enough formations that, you got to be able to identify those things and make appropriate calls and get lined up so you don't get out leveraged at the point of attack. So we've had a great week of practice of getting that done, and so hopefully we're going to be able to execute on Friday.
You referenced dudes on this team, so let's talk about some of their key players and some of the guys that you see that just really jump out when you watch film on this team that make plays for them.
All right, the first one is their B-back or their fullback, number 0, C.J. Gray. He's a junior. He's 5'9", 200 pounds. I think he rushed for about 1,800 yards last year, and he is a guy. He is a Division I running back. He is not the only guy they got. Their 4x100 team was the state champion in single A last year. 3 of those guys are their offensive skill guys. They're either receivers or running backs. And so one of those is going to be number 16, safety Manny Watkins. He's 6'2", 195 pounds. He's super fast. Another running back, Kason McNally. He's a senior, 5'10", 175 pounds. Coach's son. Those kids are always really good ball players. Tight end Hudson Nix. He's a tight end Mike linebacker. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. Big offensive line. Left tackle Ryan Self. He's 6'5", 290. Right tackle Dominique Nicolosi. He's 6'4", 285. And the center, who's a really good quick blocker, is Junior Presley. He's 5'10", 235 pounds. And then 2 D linemen that really stand out. D tackle number 50, Serdario Ferguson, and then number 1, D tackle Walter Clark. And they're both very active up front.
Excellent. Well, Coach, after that last question, you talked about the multiple formations you're going to see from this wing tee Temple offense. Sometimes your best defense is good offense. So how important is ball control for the Tigers this week? You did a great job with it last week, keeping Model's offense off the field. And then what are the other keys to the games for the Tigers to get a W?
Well, that's definitely part of it. We want to control and take care of the football. We still want to win that physical part of the football game, so we want to win the hitting game there. We want to make sure we clean up our penalties and not shoot ourselves in the foot and be our own worst enemy. And then, like always, I'm going to preach we're going to make some big plays on special teams. If we can do that, we can be physical, win the hitting game, control and take care of the football, clean up the penalties, and make some big plays on special teams, we'll have a good night.
Awesome. It's going to be a heck of a matchup. Battle of the Tigers Friday night. And I got to know, are we looking at Stormtroopers or are you putting a little splash of purple in there this week?
We're going to go back Stormtrooper look this week. It's been a good road combination for us. And so, again, the coaches would revolt if I try to do anything other than that. So we're going to keep with the tradition. We're going to roll with the white on white and the Stormtrooper look.
Well, Coach, as we get ready to wind down the show, obviously, as we've referenced a couple of times throughout the show, that the regular season home games are done, but the Tigers need you, fans. The Purple Tigers need you. So just want to give you an opportunity to invite all the audience here that are listening on a Wednesday to get on down there and support these kids.
Well, this team is worth paying admission to see. And if you've watched them, they're going to compete hard. They're going to represent Darlington the right way. And we've set ourselves up where a lot of people probably thought that we couldn't be. And we've set ourselves up. We've made the playoffs again for the 18th straight year. And now we're trying to get back and get these seniors another home playoff game. And so we didn't want last week to be our last home game. And so if we can handle business these next couple of weeks, we're going to give them that opportunity and be able to make a playoff run. But we need you out there on Friday night. All Tiger fans, we need you on Friday night because this one's is extremely important for our boys and where we're going to take the rest of this season. And so if you can possibly be there, be loud, wear purple, and let's get after them together.
And if you can't make it, we'll be there with WLAQ and also Northwest Georgia Media and the live stream produced by Northwest Georgia Media on the Darlington channels and everything. But again, as Coach Grove said, be there. There's nothing like saying I was there. You know?
Yeah.
That's my favorite 3 words in events and sports.
And it's not a bad drive, right up 27. I mean, I think 53 minutes, you're in there and ready to watch the Tigers.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Well, Coach, thanks for your time. We always enjoy this. It's always a pleasure. And go Purple Tigers this weekend. Right. My mom chimed in with that and helped us out. But all right, well, that puts a wrap on the show. Thank you, guys. Hope everybody has a great rest of your week. And go Darlington Tigers. That puts a wrap on this episode of the Coach Grove Show.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the Coach Groves Show. We invite you to join us again next week as we discuss all things Darlington football with head coach Wayne Groves. Go Tigers!
At Northwest Georgia Media, we're all about capturing the moments that matter to you. From sports to arts, from concerts to business events, we're equipped to share what's happening in your world, live and in high definition. We leverage cutting-edge technology and a knowledgeable crew to see that your most unforgettable events remain just that, unforgettable. Northwest Georgia Media, where the world is your audience.
Yes, sir. We do welcome you to Rogers Stadium here in Temple, Georgia, and we're glad to be with you for Darlington Tigers football, whether you're watching on the live stream or listening on the radio. And if you're wondering where Temple, Georgia is, well, it is in Carroll and Haralson counties, both. I'm not sure the situation on that in terms of line and things of that nature, but in the 2020 census, Ian, Temple had 5,089 people, and that is up from 4,228 back in 2010. So obviously a small community, a proud community, and I think just about all of them are going to be here for this football game. It's going to be a great environment. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, when we talked to Coach Nix on this week in Northwest Georgia football, he talked about just that. You know, he was here, and we're talking more about his history as a coach, but he was here back in 2016, I believe, as the defensive coordinator, and he just talked about how blown away he was by the investment that this community had in this high school and this athletic department, and he's built them into a consistent winner in just a short 3 years.
Absolutely, he has a very fine football program. The Darlington Tigers come in at 5-3, 3-1 in region play. The Temple Tigers having a darn good season. They're 6-2, 3-1 in region play. So a high-stakes football game for you tonight, and we'll dive into the details about that coming up in just a little bit as we move along through our broadcast. But we just wanted to welcome you in, and again, we are live from Temple, Georgia, home of the Temple Tigers. We're going to go ahead and step out and take our first break. When we come back, we'll start to dive into this matchup between the Darlington Tigers and the Temple Tigers. So when we say go Tigers tonight, we're going to have to be a little bit more specific, aren't we?
That's right. It'll be the Purple Tigers we're cheering for.
There you go. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our two founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're then guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
Water is the building block of life. At Abernathy Pump Service, we ensure you have the clean, reliable water you need. Whether it's water treatment, pump repair, or installation, our experts are here to serve both residential and commercial clients across North Georgia. With decades of experience, we guarantee top-notch service and quality you can trust. For all your water needs, choose Abernathy Pump Service. Because water is life, and we're here to keep it flowing. Call us today to schedule your service.
Coosa Steel is a family-owned full-line steel service center located in Rome, Georgia. Since 1972, we've been working to make our customers more efficient by providing steel product supply and processing all in one place. We are proud to provide a large range of products, including hot rolled and cold finished steel, stainless steel, galvanized steel, aluminum, and alloys. Our capabilities enable us to assemble and process steel orders within days, shortening your lead time. Coosa Steel. Steel for your project.
Well, we welcome you back to Rogers Stadium in Temple, Georgia, as we get you ready for kickoff. The Darlington Tigers and the Temple Tigers in a pivotal region showdown coming up in a matter of minutes. We're about 8 minutes away from kickoff. But let's go ahead and start to dive into this matchup a little bit more. I know we'll have the national anthem in a couple of moments, and we'll certainly have that for you in just a moment or two. But the Darlington Tigers and the Temple Tigers, and now it is time for the announcement and the national anthem just as we get ready to jump into our conversation here. So we'll get ready for that in just a couple of moments. But when we get past this part of the introduction, we'll get into the coaching matchup and then also some key players in. And both these teams have a lot of speed, a lot of physicality. It should be a great matchup. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Well, it looks like they're going to do a little intro video, so we'll go ahead and start talking about the coaching matchup. Ian, tell us a little bit about Coach Wayne Groves, the head coach of the Darlington Tigers.
Yeah, Coach Groves is in his second season as head coach for the Darlington Tigers, 6-5 with a playoff appearance last year. Groves has started his career going 11-8 so far after the win last week over Model. He's former defensive coordinator for John Reed at Rome High School. 3 times during his tenure there, Groves led the #1 defense in the state. Prior to his work at Rome, he was D coordinator at Valdosta High School, another high-profile program where his 2014 defensive unit was ranked #1 in points allowed. So this is a guy with a defensive acumen that is well-respected and known around the state of Georgia. He's gotten his first chance to lead a program here at Darlington, and he's putting his mark on the Tigers.
Indeed he is. Now we'll talk about the head coach of the Temple Tigers, Corey Nix. He's in his 3rd season at the helm of the Temple Tigers, 4-7 first season, 5-6 last year, and the Tigers were a playoff team both of those seasons. In other words, they've taken a step forward all 3 seasons. They have 6 wins already this season. They notch another one. That'll be the most wins that they've ever had in a season in program history. More on Coach Nix in a couple of moments. But ladies and gentlemen, right now it's time for your national anthem. So we'll have that for you, and then we will get back into the conversation about Coach Nix, and then we'll work our way into some key players for each of the teams, your Darlington Tigers and of course the Temple Tigers playing at their home field. I tell you what, for the radio purposes, we're going to go ahead and take a break here. We'll step out for 2 minutes. We'll come back, finish talking about Coach Nix, and again, key players. We'll be back in 2.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
At Darlington, we find our confidence in discovering who we are.
In the classroom and on stage.
The opportunities are endless.
Our creativity knows no bounds as we take risks,
explore opportunities,
and stretch our minds.
Together with our teachers,
we use what we've learned to create beauty, to tell stories,
to inspire. We discover new passions
while allowing existing ones to flourish. We know that we can do anything,
be anything,
achieve anything.
We give our time to something greater than ourselves. Whether we're sketching,
singing, writing,
or acting, we find new ways to express ourselves
and share our talents with the world. We know that our ideas and contributions matter, and we take great pride in that.
Because today,
because today,
because today,
because today,
because today, tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
Back live in Temple, Georgia. Darlington Tigers football for you tonight on the radio and on the live stream. I'm Matt Davis alongside Ian Griffin to bring you the call of tonight's game. A little bit more about Coach Nix, then we'll jump in to key players for each team. Nix was the head coach at Gordon Central for a couple of seasons, 2017 to 2018. He played at and graduated from UAB and has been an assistant coach at Shamley, also Sequoia, Woodstock, Roswell. He was the DC at Temple before he took the head coaching job over at Gordon Central, so this is actually his second time here and is doing a fine job. Now we'll move into some key players. Ian, let's start with the Darlington Tigers.
Yeah, when you talk about the Darlington Tigers, you got to talk about starting quarterback and corner, safety as well. Sammy Konchesky, this guy does all the little things. The offense flows through him. He has been absolutely excellent his entire career. He just keeps continuing to get better, and he has been a huge part of this Tigers team success this season. Miles Twyman, another player that we've got to talk about. He's the B-back. He's also the long snapper. He plays corner, and he has been a bell cow for this offense and an excellent in coverage all season. And one of the things you hear Coach Grove say almost every week, perfect snaps. And that is so huge. It's something that a lot of people don't pay attention to. But Miles, heck of a contributor on this team. Then let's talk about Sam 20, who was the black shirt on defense last week for the Darlington Tigers. He had 7 tackles, but one of the reason he got the black shirt was not because he had the most tackles. It was because he played his assignments better than anybody on the defense last week when they were grading the players out. Sam 20 is an absolute ball hound. He's going after it every play, and he has that high motor, something the Tigers are going to need tonight against a tough Temple offense.
We'll give you a few Temple key players, and we'll give the captains as they're about to make their way onto the field. Of course, for Temple, you got number 0, C.J. Gray's a senior running back, defensive back. Coach Groves described Gray as a D1 level talent, already has 946 yards, 10 touchdowns this season. He rushed for 1,800 yards last season. Number 15, Hudson Nix, tight end, running back, and linebacker. He's a sophomore. He's the team leader in tackles with 86. 49 of those were solo tackles so far. He's the son of the coach, Coach Nix. And then number 74, Ryan Self, offensive lineman and defensive lineman. He's a big dude on the line of scrimmage at 6'5", 290. Temple has a lot of size on the line of the scrimmage. That is one of the things that Coach Rose pointed out in his show. And now we'll give you the captains, and then we'll give you our keys to the game. We'll have the results of the toss, and we'll get this thing going, Ian.
Yeah, man, it's going to be an excellent night of football here at Rogers Stadium in Temple, Georgia.
Sammy Konchesky, also Sam 20, Noah Duggan, and then also rounding out your captains tonight, Stephen Moore here for your Darlington Tigers. For the Temple Tigers, we'll go ahead and let you know we got number 15. That's going to be Hudson Nix. Just talked about him. Number 11, McClan Medigear. Number 16, you're going to have Manny Watkins, and then rounding out their captains at C.J. Gray. We just talked about him in detail and his running prowess just a couple of moments ago. And now we'll go over some keys to the game. Here comes the coin toss. We'll get you the result of that. And we've seen a new trend when Darlington's won the toss here lately is that they've elected to receive. Coach Groves talked about that a little bit earlier on in the pregame, and it looks like this time who won the toss?
I can't tell. I'm waiting on the signal here from our man in the white hat. Temple will get the ball.
They won the toss, and they will receive.
Yes.
So they have a similar thought on that with these two offenses here.
And here at Rogers Stadium, they have some of the new high-tech LED lights, and they use them to set the mood. And tonight, this is a huge game for both squads. Temple having a chance to notch the most wins in program history. They've gotten to 6 a few times. They've never gotten to 7. And they're both teams are lobbying for good playoff position. While it's clear as mud, we do know this. If Darlington can win one of the next 2 games, they should get a home playoff game. If they can win both, there's a good chance they get a bye in the first round and a home playoff game in the second. So a lot on the line here for both of these teams.
No question about it. And here are the keys to the game. We've got number 1, protect the football. Last week, Ian, the Tigers, the Darlington Tigers, the Purple Tigers were able to do that, did not turn the ball over for a single time. It's the first time they've been able to do that this season. They hope that trend continues.
Yeah. If the Tigers can limit the self-inflicted wounds, then they're going to have a chance to be in every game they play, period. So that is paramount.
And this is another one, and I think you're going to have two really physical teams here tonight. This is a key every week, but you got to win the physical battle. Coach Groves talks about it every single week.
Got to win the hitting game.
You got
to go out there and get it done. And they had a great week of practice according to Coach Groves, so they'll come out ready to hit and hit hard.
And last week against Model, they scored 31 unanswered points, pitched the shutout, had a great game. We mentioned 0 turnovers, but one problem they did have in the game was penalties, so that is key to the game number 3. Got to limit those penalties in a game like this.
Yeah, that was really the only takeaway from last week that was a sore point for the Tigers. So I'm sure that was at the top of mind, especially the procedure penalties. And you don't want the emotional penalties either. Last week you were playing a rival, and it gets the best of you every now and then. But also got to execute well in special teams. That's something the Tigers have done really well this season. So it's about that time, Matt. Toe is about to meet leather.
So there's only one thing left to do, folks. Buckle your chin straps. It's time for Darlington Tigers football on the live stream and on the radio. Here we go, folks. It's hard to believe it. Game 9 is about to kick off from Temple, Georgia. We're at Rogers Stadium. Ida Salu's getting ready for his trot to the ball. Here he goes. Toe meets leather. We're underway. That's going to be a line drive kick that's going to roll all the way and goes out of the corner of the end zone. Actually, I believe they threw the flag on that one. So it went out of bounds just before it went into the end zone.
Yeah, it was hooking pretty hard there and went across the boundary. So
it threw me because it must be breast cancer night here tonight, and he threw a pink flag. I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow. We've got pink hankies. We saw so much laundry last week, we don't ever want to wash any again.
You're not kidding. So because the kick was out of bounds, that's going to give the ball.
That's automatically at the 35.
Temple Tigers at the 35-yard line. And we are just about to get things rolling from inside Rogers Stadium as this high-octane offense, which has scored, I believe, a little over 33 points a game, runs up to the line of scrimmage in a hurry, getting ready to take the snap. They've got the ball, turns, they're going to hand it off. There's C.J. Gray taking the handoff, stays up, shakes a couple of tackles, and he gets himself right across the 50-yard line. So a big run to start the game, 15 yards.
And that time under center, quarterback hands it off to C.J. Gray on the dive play, and Gray just keeps driving those legs. He is a force to be reckoned with.
And the quarterback that took the snap on that play was Ashton Eskew. We may see a couple of different guys take snaps in this ball game because I noticed looking at their stats on Max Preps that a couple of guys have played a fair amount at that position throughout the season. There's a snap from Eskew. They're going to hand it off and lowering the boom. The Darlington Tigers, and Sam 20 is there and, again, just lowers the boom on him. So not a big gain there.
No, an excellent tackle there from Sam 20. We talked about him in the pregame, coming off a great performance last week, and he's looking to continue that here. Got the penetration, lost a yard on the play, and this is what you want to do with an offense like this. Very similar to Darlington's, different, but same philosophy here. Getting them behind schedule is key.
So 2nd down and 9. There's the snap. They're going back to Gray. They spin him around and bring him down to the turf after about a yard or two gain. Good defense there from the Tigers.
Yeah, now you've got him in a passing situation. And we were watching in Worms. This is not necessarily Temple's strong point. And the Tigers will try to get off the field here on this first defensive possession.
So 3rd down and 9. This Temple Tigers team runs a variation of the wing T offense. They're going to send wide receivers, one on each side. Quarterback's going to be under center, and we're going to have a timeout, it looks like, called by Coach Nix and the Temple Tigers. Yep, so we're going to take it as well. We're just underway, 10 minutes and 36 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. We're scoreless, back in 30 seconds.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
We welcome you back to Rogers Stadium, home of the Temple Tigers, where the Darlington Tigers visit tonight. And right now, the Temple offense is coming out, getting ready for 3rd down and 9 with the ball just across midfield at the Darlington 48-yard line. So the Tigers trying to pin those ears back right now and get a stop on defense. Tigers run back to the line of scrimmage under center. They're going to fake the handoff. Quarterback's rolling out, looking to throw. He's got company in the backfield. He gets wrapped up, brought down. Ball came out. Tigers are on it, and it looks like the Tigers have the football. A turnover on the first possession of the football game. Who came up with that fumble?
I think Jaron Payne got on top of that one. Number 9. As that was scooped out.
So the Tigers will take over 1st and 10 here with 10:24 left to go in the first quarter of the football game. They're going to have great field position after the Tigers fumble, the Temple Tigers fumble, and they're going to have it on their own side of the field, but almost at midfield at the 45. So the Tigers are to the line of scrimmage for their first possession on offense. 2 wide receivers to the far side. They're going to hand it off, go up the middle with the B-back dive, see what they can get there, and it looks like it was about 2 or 3 yards from Miles Twyman. Some hard yards, too.
Absolutely. Miles Twyman is no stranger to those kinds of carries.
Got more than I thought. He got about 4 yards, so that sets up a 2nd and 6 from the 49-yard line.
Miles coming up hobbling. That ankle gave him some problems last week.
2 wide receivers to the far side. Sammy under center, getting ready to take the snap. He's got the ball, is going to fake the handoff, rolls out. He's got company in the backfield being chased all around. He's going to run the football down the sidelines, and that's going to be awfully close to a first down. Good carry there by Sammy Konchesky, just making something out of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, right there, you had a lot going on that play. First, Sammy pulled, looked like they were going to run an end around, and then there was a lot of pressure on Sammy, but he was able to use those wheels of his. His escapability has been amazing all season. He does it again, gets up the boundary, and picks up the Tigers' first down to extend this drive.
So the ball is at the 45-yard line. Quarterback under center, 2 wide to the near side, 1 on the far side. Darlington working right to left. We're scoreless with 9 minutes and 32 seconds left in the first quarter. This is the first possession for the Darlington Tigers. Sammy gets hit, and a flag comes in.
We've got a flag, and, man, I did not see. I think that's going to be a false start on Darlington. Yeah.
Yep. So we talked about the penalties in the pregame being one of our keys to the game. It was a problem last week. Of course, it resulted in a Tigers 31-0 win, but this game is a little bit different than what they were up against last week. Nothing against the Model Blue Devils, but this Temple team's been firing all cylinders most of the season.
Yeah, very explosive. And Darlington's really going to want to take the air out of the ball here and keep their offense off the field, though the defense looks strong.
So the ball's at midfield now. This is going to bring up 1st and 15 after the procedural penalty before the first snap. And Sammy's ready to take the snap with the wide receiver to the near side. They're going to Miles to try to get some of those penalty yards back, and he does get about 2 or 3 of them back. But now you got a 2nd down and 13 coming up for the Tigers.
Yeah, just fell forward there on the dive play for a couple of yards. And, Matt, you have to wonder, with these two teams running a similar attack, again, different, but a lot of similarities. These defenses practice against this, so we may see a defensive struggle here because they're used to going against this kind of stuff in practice.
2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side here for 2nd down and 13. Sammy takes the snap, is going to throw a quick pass, and it's a little bit out of the reach of Moore, who takes a heavy hit after the ball sails over his head.
Yeah, that's been a successful play for Darlington all season. Moore just takes about 3 steps, turns, and gets the ball, and then he usually does the work once he's made the catch, getting those yards after contact. That one was a little high, too hot to handle, and that puts Darlington in a 3rd and long situation.
We've got 3rd and 13. Ball is at the 48-yard line just inside Temple Tiger territory. Scoreless with 8:30 left to go. Each team has had 1 possession. Darlington Tigers have the ball working from right to left. Man motions to the near side. That's Bodie Powers, and a flag comes in.
Goodness, I don't know what they're going to call on this one. I didn't see anybody move.
White,
it's going the other way.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a big call, going from 3rd and 13 to 3rd and 8.
Offsides, the penalty against the Temple Tigers.
So an offsides penalty against Temple, and that'll spot the Tigers 5 yards. Definitely frustration on the opposite sidelines there for the Temple coaches.
Yeah, you had them in 3rd and 13. 3rd and 8 is a lot more manageable, though Darlington's been good at pulling themselves out of those 3rd and long situations all season.
So 3rd and 8 from the 43 now. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Sammy under center. Ready to take the snap as a man motions to the near side. Sammy's heading that way, rolls to his left, ball in the air, and it's going to be missed by Jace Donaldson. Couldn't quite get his arms around it. The defense got there and broke it up, so that's incomplete, and now looks like it's punting time.
Yeah, it's decision time.
Yeah.
I think you punt here and let your defense go out there and try to get another stop, but this is on the fringe of no man's land.
Looks like the decision has been made. Trenton Moore is coming out to punt this ball away here for the Darlington Tigers. And, you know, the way the defense opened up this football game, you want to put yourself in a tight spot there and trust those guys, and they did a great job on that first drive.
Yeah, Moore will try to pin them deep here.
So we get ready for the snap to Moore. One man back here for Temple. Low snap picked up by Moore's got plenty of time to get the kick away. That one's going to drop and roll. Takes a nice bounce inside the 10. And that's where the Tigers are down it. They kind of fan it a little bit, see if they can get a little extra out of it.
A nice
Maybe
play
it
there.
helped.
Yeah. A low snap there, uncharacteristic, and Moore is able to handle it, get the kick off. He didn't get the best hang time or spiral on that one, but it got a good Darlington bounce, and you've pinned him back inside the 10, so mission accomplished.
So 8:06 remains here in the opening quarter. Both teams came up empty on their first possession. It was a fumble that ended Temple's first possession, and the Tigers ends up in a punt. And now the Temple Tigers come back to the line of scrimmage here for the second possession on offense tonight. They'll line up under center. The quarterback is Astonescu. Nope, different quarterback this time. Jackson Gribben is going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off. They go to C.J. Walker, or Gray rather, and he stays up, carries the pile, keeps the legs turning down to about the 20. We'll see where they spot it, but he just kept on going.
They never blew the whistle, so they can sit there and play the pushing game, and Temple Tigers offensive lineman got in there and moved him an extra 4 or 5 yards.
So the ball's across the 20 out to almost the 21. So he got about 11 yards there on that first carry. Wide receiver to the near side, ready to take the snap is Jackson Gribben. As we mentioned to you, they got a 2-quarterback system. The first drive of the game, we saw Astonescu. Now we're seeing Jackson Gribben. He's going to hand it off. They go off to the left side of the formation, trips him up by the shoestrings. What a nice defensive play there by Noah Duggan, who got his hands in there and grabbed him and brought him down.
Noah Duggan, Mike linebacker, quarterback of this defense. Just another example of a tenacious Tiger in purple and white getting after the ball. Heck of a play there to put him back behind the chains.
JoJo Jones was the ball carrier there for Temple. They come back to the line of scrimmage, running to the line, wide receiver to the near side. Man motions off to the right side, and they're going to hand it off and go up the middle, but it's a wall of Tigers waiting on them, Ian.
Yeah, great play up the middle. Good gap integrity from this defensive line. Excellent play there. And it was Bryson Jones that made the play.
So the ball stays at the 21-yard line. That brings up 3rd and 10 here for the Temple Tigers. And so far, this Tigers defense has done an outstanding job. First couple of possessions of the game for them on defense.
Gribben remains in at quarterback.
So he gets ready to take the snap, rolls out, looking to throw here on 3rd down, and that's going to be thrown to the right side of the wide receiver. It's incomplete, and that's going to be a 3-and-out forced here. They did get one first down.
They got a first down, yeah.
However, it's going to be a punt situation for Temple.
Yeah, they were able to get a first down on their first play, so 4 plays and out, if you will. but they'll be punting it back, and you've got Sammy Konchesky and Jace Donaldson, 2 guys who can make you pay in the return game. I love the 2 returners, man, because then they can't kick away from you. They gotta either try to kick it out of bounds or give you a chance to return one.
Jackson Gribben, the punter here for Temple, also took the snaps on that series, the last 2 series as quarterback. Gets ready to punt the ball, puts a nice boot on it. It's going to land right in front of Sammy. Did he touch it?
No.
Nope. Thankfully, he did not. Well, the Temple Tigers think so.
Well, the official thinks so.
Yeah, so that's apparently touched Sammy Konchesky. A live ball. It's going to be picked up by Abraham. How do you say his last name? Kite.
Yeah.
The
Man.
Temple Tigers. So special teams disaster there for the Tigers.
Crucial mistake there. Come up with a big stop on defense and then give it back to him. And that's one where, you'd love to have a review. We get spoiled, but that's not how high school football works. Call on the field is how it's going to stand. So
the ball is going to be at the 40-yard line. Temple is going to have it on the Darlington Tigers side of the field to start this particular possession. They're going to hand it off, come back the other way with it, and brought down is going to be Jones. Nice tackling there for the Tigers and Zayden Simpson, I believe.
Simpson's a Tiger that has gotten more and more playing time as this season has gone on, and he's getting his name called a lot. He looks like he's filling in on the defensive side for Miles Twyman.
We're scoreless. Temple with the football. They got the nose of the ball at the 34-yard line on the Darlington Tigers side of the field. Almost said Tigers, but got to be more specific tonight. We got two Tiger teams here. Going to run the ball towards the near side, and that's going to be CJ who's got it inside down about the 22-yard line. That's Gray. I keep wanting to call him Walker. We saw a CJ Walker here recently.
We did. CJ Gray, though, with some wiggle there. He bounced that. Made a nice play there and then showed a little shimmy about 6 yards down the field.
So a first down for the Tigers. They've got the ball at the 23-yard line, threatening to move this ball into the red zone.
The Darlington Tigers need to compose themselves here. Sudden change. Thought they were getting the ball back. They've got their backs against the wall.
Eskew takes the snap. He looks around, can't find anybody to give the ball to. He's going to do a little shovel pass, gets it into the receiver's hands. That's Mateer, and he's going to be hauled out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. That was kind of a wacky play there.
Well, he turned to give it to the ball carrier, and the ball carrier wasn't there. So let's give
Mateer.
That was Askew, though, that made the shovel pass. I mean, that was really good improvisation out there by Askew.
So now it's 1st and 10, Temple Tigers at the 11-yard line. So a red zone possession here for the Temple Tigers as they run to the line of scrimmage. Quarterback Eskew getting ready to take the snap, looks off to the sidelines. In the backfield with him, you've got C.J. Gray, and then also you got JoJo Jones, and they're going to hand the ball off, get it to C.J. He gets tripped up as he falls towards the goal line. So he's going to be short by a couple of yards, I think.
This Gray kid's for real, man. I mean, his ability to go. We got somebody down.
I think it's Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy. Oh, goodness.
Not good. So right now, Sammy Konchesky is laying on his back, and we're going to have an injury timeout, so I think we're going to take it as well, Ian. We've got 4 minutes and 35 seconds remaining here in the first quarter of the football game. We're scoreless, but Temple Tigers knocking on the door when we come back in 30.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
Konchesky, starting quarterback here for the Darlington Tigers, having to have some help off the field, and as they were helping him up, you could see the frustration on his body language. So I don't know. We may or may not see him back in this game, Ian.
He's not putting any weight on that ankle.
Good situation, for sure.
Not a hush has fallen over the stadium, a respectful hush from the home crowd, and some serious concern for one of the leaders on this team from everybody in purple and white over here on the visiting stands. As Sammy has helped off the field, we certainly hope he's okay for the long term and would love to see him back on the field. We'll just have to wait and see what happens here.
4:35 left here in the first quarter, and they're going to get into the end zone on a run, and there goes the light show. If you happen to be watching on the live stream, you see it, but for folks on the radio, we'll describe that to you. But a 1-yard plunge for a touchdown for the first points of the game here for the Temple Tigers, and I'll be honest with you, I just looked down at my sheet and I didn't see who ran it in. Was it CJ?
I didn't see it either, to be honest with you, Matt. I missed that. I missed the number.
We'll get a check on that in a couple of moments.
I think it was number 5, actually.
Well, if it was, then that would have been Kaysen McAnallen.
Yeah, that's confirmed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we're going to get the point after attempt. It's on the way, and that one is going to be through. And so the score moves to 7-0.
Well, a huge turnover there with the punt being touched by Sammy Konchesky and then recovered by Temple. If he touched it, it was just by a whisker. But Temple cashed in on that opportunity and marched down the field and scored the first points of the game, taking a 7-0 lead. Most concerning and more concerning than that score was the injury to Darlington starting quarterback Sammy Konchesky. Henry Ledbetter is not playing in this game. He has been the backup all year. And it looks like Nate Konchesky, younger brother of Sammy, was taking practice snaps on the sidelines. So it may be the younger Konchesky that takes over here for this Darlington offense.
Well, we will know here shortly, and we're going to have a couple of, one man back deep inside the 10. That's going to be Jace Donaldson, some fast wheels there as we get ready for the kickoff from the Temple Tigers. That's going to be Beckham Toll, who handles the kickoff duties here tonight. And right now, Temple leads at 7-0 as we get ready for the next kickoff. Here is the kick. That one's going to be end over end. It's going to drop in on the far side of the field. Will be brought out by the Tigers. They're streaking down the sidelines, and Bodie Powers is going to go out of bounds after a decent return, and the Tigers will go back to the drawing board with a different quarterback here into the football game here in just a couple of moments.
Good return there by Bodie Powers.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Tigers. And the ball is going to be right at the 25-yard line, it looks like, is where the Tigers are going to set up shop here with 4:27 left to go in the first quarter, now trailing the game 7-0. And under center is going to be Nate Konchesky, as you pointed out, sophomore, getting some action here, ready to take the snap. He's got the ball. It's going to sweep the ball to Jace Donaldson, and that's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
Yeah, that was number 42 that got the tackle. DeJuan Patterson. And this defense is going to be teeing off with a change at quarterback.
So that's going to be a loss of 6 yards. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 16 here for the Tigers as Nate runs them up to the line of scrimmage with 2 wide receivers on the far side. Everybody else in tight in that base formation, double slot. Be back in there is Miles Twyman. There's the snap to Nate. He's going to hand it off, and they're going to stop the be-back dive behind the line of scrimmage. So no gain there on the play.
Yeah, so they've gone with the toss. They've gone with the dive, and so far Temple has crashed down and forced losses on both carries, putting Darlington in a 3rd and long.
So the ball is knocked back for another 1-yard loss, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 17 here for the Darlington Tigers. So needing a big play here to try to keep this drive going and avoid the 3 and out.
Nate Konchesky gets the play from the sideline.
Going to be 2 wide receivers on the far side. Nate getting ready to take the snap here, thrust into a very difficult situation. And that is going to be blown dead just before the snap. A flag came in. That's going to be a false start, so that'll back him up 5 more yards.
It's his little brother, but he's still got a different cadence, and that can always be tricky. Oh, they got him for a delay. Wasn't movement.
So going to have those 2 wide receivers to the far side. Tigers come back to the line of scrimmage here with 3rd down and 22 to go. 2:50 in the clock ticking in the first quarter. Darlington down 7-0. Nate Konchesky under center. He's ready for the snap. Turns, is going to toss the ball. They go with a toss sweep to Bodie Powers. He's running back towards the end zone. He is in the end zone, and that is going to be a safety.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, tried to make something out of nothing, and unfortunately, that one went the wrong direction. Reversing field. Trying to make a play. I mean, it was a hustle play, and it just backfired. And right now, the Darlington Tigers are going to have to gain their composure after watching one of their leaders go down. But they're still in this ball game, so they've got to go to the sidelines here and regroup.
Indeed. Very good way to put it. And so the Tigers are down 9-0 after the safety with 2:36 left to go. And we'll get ready to kick it back out to this Temple Tigers. And, of course, the Temple Tigers, they're going to try to take advantage of the situation, work the ball down the field, and get what they can get.
Yeah, you keep your foot on the gas if you're Temple. I don't know what the confusion here is.
Beautiful night for a football game, if we hadn't mentioned that. It was 75 degrees as we were approaching kickoff. By the time we get to the end of the night, we're going to be about 63. No rain in the forecast, which is a good thing because we're in an outdoor press box tonight. I don't think we mentioned that yet. Interesting point of view, and we'll tell you more about the visitor stands and the design. It's
sweet smells of fall.
Oh, my gosh. More on that later. Ade Salu about to trot to the ball and kick it off here for the Tigers from the 20-yard line. And here comes the kick. That one is going to drop in, and it's going to be brought out from the 35-yard line. It's going to be CJ with the ball. Stays up across the 50. Now he's streaking down the sidelines. He'll be inside the 30 before they can, well, he's still running. Stays up, and now he's inside the 10, and they haul him down at about the 9-yard line. So a big return by CJ Gray, and they're in business again just like that.
Right back inside the 10 with a 1st and goal.
Wow.
Yeah, he had that was a high kick from Ade, and Gray had a seam there on the left side. It was well blocked by the Temple Tigers, and he made the most of it.
Sideline warning against Darlington.
That's funny.
We are in the stands tonight, everybody listening at home. So
yeah, we didn't even have to hook up the crowd mic tonight because we are a part of the crowd.
That's right.
Which is an interesting vantage point. I kind of enjoy it. Quarterback's going to be under center. That's going to be Jackson Gribben, ready to take the snap. He turns, is going to hand it off. They'll run the football, staying up, and he trots into the end zone. He was touched, but he stayed on his feet the whole time. Kason McAnallen is going to have his second touchdown of the night, Ian.
Yes, yep. Went with the trap play there, and McAnallen is able to find a seam and take it to the house. All the momentum is on the Temple sideline right now, and you just kind of feel it's a gut punch, honestly. It's taking the wind out of this Tigers team, watching Sammy go down. But the next play comes really quick. So regrouping and recomposing, it's a tall order.
So Temple will get ready for the extra point attempt here in just a couple of moments. They'll make a personnel change here right before they do. And here comes the snap. They're going to go for the 2-point conversion. Quarterback running with the ball is going to throw it into the end zone, and they're able to convert. And the receiver on that play was McClan Mateer, and the pass was complete from Jackson Gribben. So 2-point conversion is successful, and the score moves to 17-0.
Yeah, and that time it's just a numbers game as they had most of their linemen over there on the left hash. They make a decision whether or not they're going to snap it and go for 2. Obviously, they got the matchup they wanted, and it was a tough pass there at the very end as he was approaching the boundary, but he was able to complete it. And now Temple leads this thing 17-0 in the blink of an eye.
They do. That happened very quickly, and we've got 2:16 left here in the first quarter. So now Temple will kick the ball back to the Darlington Tigers, and they'll go back to the drawing board and see if they can get a little bit of rhythm, get some positive things to build on offense. Kicker here for this Temple team, again, we'll give you his name. It's Beckham Toll. He is a junior this year, getting ready to kick things off here for Temple. Darlington's going to have Jace Donaldson standing just inside the 10-yard line, hoping to get a shot at returning this ball. Here comes Toll to the ball, kicks it. Ball is going to fly towards the far side of the field, will be fielded and brought out by Bodie Powers, who is now running towards the near sidelines, trying to cut inside and find a running lane, but the coverage got down there quick, and he's going to be stopped inside the 20.
Yeah, he brought it all the way from the far side to the near side, but just wasn't able to find that running lane. And the Darlington Tigers will start this just shy of their own 20-yard line.
So the ball is going to be at the 19-yard line. That's where the Darlington Tigers are going to set up shop here for their next possession of the football game, trying to find something on offense after Nate Konchesky thrust into action here today after the injury to his brother at the 4:35 mark of the first quarter of the football game. And Nate trying to get comfortable here, gets up under center. He's going to have those two slot backs, a wide receiver to the far side. There's the snap, fakes the handoff, ball's on the turf, and that's going to be picked up by Temple, and they have come up with another turnover. That was number 50 getting the ball, Siderio Ferguson, Ian.
And Nate pulled the ball and just lost the handle. Temple, opportunistic, has got the ball back again and will start their second consecutive drive inside the Darlington 20, knocking on the door. And we've got another of the stalwart Darlington players and Miles Twyman coming off the field limping.
And when you get to this point of the season, obviously, you know, all teams are going to be banged up a little bit, but when you've got a small roster like the Darlington Tigers do, they call them the Dirty 30, and you lose a couple of these key guys or have people banged up and things of that nature, obviously it causes some problems. There's a snap, going to run the football. This is going to be CJ scooting into the end zone, and that's going to be a 10-yard run to pay dirt there. Or how many yards was that?
It was a 9-yard run.
9-yard run.
Inside the 10, yeah.
9-yard run there for CJ Gray, and another strike there from this Temple Tigers football team.
And we're just in a situation right now where in the last 5 minutes of this football game, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for the Darlington Tigers.
And up to that point, things were going well. The defense had forced a couple of punts, and then just things started to fall apart. There is the kick, and that is going to be through. The point after is good off the boot of Ryan Rutledge, and the score moves to 24-0 in favor of Temple.
Darlington needs to pick up a first down or two and just get something positive going, at least flip field position on this next possession.
Glad you're with us tonight on the broadcast. Do want to take an opportunity here to thank our sponsors for being a part of Darlington broadcast throughout the season. Rome Orthopedic Center will have our scoreboard show at the end of tonight's action. Advent Health with us tonight, Avery Drugs, Georgia Highlands College, Harbin Clinic, Riverside Auto Group, Ware Mechanical, and of course at the end of the night we'll have the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game here for the 9th game of the season. And we always look forward to that, so we'll give you more on that as the game progresses and things develop in this football game, but we'll get ready for Temple to kick it back to the Tigers.
It'll be Jace Donaldson back deep. They've been kicking it towards Bodie. See if they go back to that well or give him another chance to make a return.
Beckham told to kick it off from the 40. He gets ready to make his trot to the football. Darlington will be working from right to left. There is the kick. That one's going to float end over end into the hands of Bodie Powers. Bobbles it, picks it up, recovers. He'll cut towards the inside, but he's going to be brought down at about the 14-yard line. So, again, not very good field position for the Tigers.
Now the Tigers will be fighting an uphill battle here. And credit this Temple special teams. They're putting a lot of hang time on that kick. High and short, giving their coverage team a lot of time to get down there and get in position to make a tackle.
So the Darlington Tigers getting ready to go to the line of scrimmage right now. Quarterback Nate Konchesky having a talk with the coaches before he runs back out on the field, trying to settle into this football game.
We've got a fresh Tiger on the field here as Tristan Leeser, a freshman, is coming out, and it looks like he's going to line up under center.
I think you're right, Ian. So Leeser is in at quarterback. This is the third quarterback of the game for the Tigers. Leeser under center. He takes the snap. Ball is going to be on the turf, and we'll see who came up with it. Looks like Temple thinks they have it, and they come out with the football. Coming out with it was Hudson Nix. It is recovered by Temple, and this has become pretty brutal here.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a train wreck of a first quarter so far. Not all of that is on the Tigers. It's just been, like I said, if it could go wrong, it has gone wrong.
All right, so the ball is going to be on the 14-yard line. That's where the Temple Tigers are going to set up shop with a 24-0 lead, and it is 1:40 left to go here in this first quarter of the football game. This has happened in a very big hurry.
Yeah, what was you had the time when Sammy got hurt, right?
I wrote down it was with 4:35 left to go in the first quarter.
So when you're talking actual game time here in less than 3 minutes, it has gone from knotted up at 0 to 24-0 Temple, and they are right back at the doorstep once again. My goodness.
So we got we're going to keep it here because I didn't notice that we had a timeout, so not enough time to go to a radio timeout. But one of the things we're going to do when we get to halftime, we mentioned Rome Orthopedic Center, the sponsor of our scoreboard show. Of course, we're going to relay some scores from some other games around the area, and if we have a moment here, we may check on a couple right now. You got anything,
I've got a couple. Big game for Rome over at Barron Stadium against New Manchester, and this was their. So far, this looked like there was going to be their biggest test in region play. Well, they're up 14-0 in the second quarter in that game. Cedartown getting a bounce-back game, up 13-0 over Woodland. Cartersville leads Hiram 7-0, and Rockmart is up 28-0 on Murray County. We'll get you a few more here in a minute.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So the Tigers back to the line of scrimmage. This time they're going to line up at the 14-yard line. As we get ready for the snap, Temple in the red zone to start this possession after the Darlington fumble. Under center is going to be quarterback number 7. That's Gribben. There's the snap. Going to hand it off. Running towards the near side of the field is Jones, and he is going to trot untouched into the end zone. A 14-yard pickup for a touchdown, and the Temple Tigers have struck again.
30 points with a chance to add one on the PAT. And so the last 3 Temple touchdowns have been one-play drives because they've had such great field position. 2 of those were fumble recoveries. One was a 50-yard kickoff return by C.J. Gray that set them up. And they have just hung a bunch of points in a very short amount of time.
Extra point is good there by Ryan Rutledge, and the score moves to 31-0.
Onslaught here from the home team.
Indeed, 31-0 is your score with 1:34 left to go remaining in the first quarter of the football game.
And this is a tough situation to be in for the coaches, the players. Wayne Groves and his staff have done a marvelous job of getting these young men to be able to shake things off and move on to that next play mentality. But when you get hammered with this run of bad luck, let's just be honest, it's a little tougher to move on to the next play, especially when you're dealing with young men. I mean, these are 14 to 18-year-old kids out there, so we know Coach Groves is going to get them refocused, but that's hard to do in a short amount of time when you're got players that are going both ways, you know?
Indeed, and of course came into the night. Henry Ledbetter still unavailable this week. Hopefully we'll get him back next week. Obviously, I suppose he would have been next in line for the quarterback position when Sammy went down. And you've had the rash of turnover situations and the safety here in this first quarter. Just been hard to get things on track. That is going to be kicked end over end, drops in at about the 10-yard line. It's going to be brought out by Donaldson. He stutter steps, stays up, and gets across the 20. Good effort there. I said Bodie. I thought it was
Donaldson.
Jace.
It was Donaldson. They kicked it to the same spot on the field, but they switched Bodie and Jace. So, man, Evan Parton's come up limping. That's one of those nights, man.
So the Tigers will have a little bit better field position this time. They're going to start this time at their own 22, working from right to left. But big mountain to climb here, down 31-0 with 1:30 left to go in the first quarter of play.
Longest first quarter of the season.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
So let's see how they line up. It looks like Nate's going to be back in at quarterback this time. And they'll send 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Nate rolls under center, ready to take the snap. A little bit of different formation here. They're going to hand the ball off. He stays up and is able to carry the pile about 2 yards, so a hard run there. I believe that was Noah Duggan with the carry.
Yeah. Noah's in at the B-back position. We saw Miles limp off the field. Miles was gutting it out anyway. He hurt that ankle last week. Not sure if we'll see him again tonight or not.
So Konchesky runs off to get the play call from the sidelines, runs it back in, as the Tigers will come back to line of scrimmage here with 2nd down and 8. So they got a couple of positive yards there on that play and see if they can get a little rhythm going, build on that. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Nate Konchesky. He'll take the snap, turns, there's the give. They try to go up the middle, and not much doing there on that play. It was Duggan again on the carry, but didn't have a lot of running room that time.
Running the dive. And we may see them let the clock expire here because that's an opportunity for Coach to get his team on the sideline with a little more time to compose themselves and see if they can find a way to mentally get back into this ball game.
Absolutely. Try to gut this thing out and see what you can get going. So Konchesky runs back out to the line of scrimmage with his Tigers. And 3rd down coming up for the Tigers and 7. Ball is right at the 25-yard line. Going to send a wide receiver to the near side, one off to the far side. And we're going to have the end of the first quarter. So with that, 31-0, Temple on top of the Darlington Tigers. We'll send it back to the studio for a 1-minute break. We'll return.
Water is the building block of life. At Abernathy Pump Service, we ensure you have the clean, reliable water you need. Whether it's water treatment, pump repair, or installation, our experts are here to serve both residential and commercial clients across North Georgia. With decades of experience, we guarantee top-notch service and quality you can trust. For all your water needs, choose Abernathy Pump Service. Because water is life, and we're here to keep it flowing. Call us today to schedule your service.
Welcome back to Rogers Stadium, home of the Temple Tigers, and they lead 31-0 over the Darlington Tigers as we get ready to start the second quarter of the football game. Tigers roll to the line of scrimmage here with 3rd down and 7. They flip sides of the field, so now Tigers are working from left to right. There's the pitch to Donaldson, finds a little bit of room to run, and he is off to the races across midfield. The 40, the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, gone. Jace Donaldson provides a spark and comes up with a big play here for the Darlington Tigers, and they strike 11 seconds into the start of the second quarter.
3rd and 7 and desperately needed shot in the arm for this Darlington Tigers team. They went with toss play, and Jace Donaldson, you give him a crack, he'll take it to the house. And he did just that.
I believe that was a 75-yard run there for a touchdown for Donaldson. He scores with 11:49 left in the first half of play, and the Tigers have their first points, the Darlington Tigers to be more specific. And we get ready for Ade to try to tack on the extra point. Here comes the kick, and that one is through. Nicely done, and the score moves to 31-7.
I think you just hit Nathan Patterson's truck with that kick.
Was it the truck or the trailer?
It hit the truck.
Okay.
Pretty sure it hit the truck. But huge. Look. Boy, that was just what the doctor ordered. I mean, we went through a nightmare sequence of a first quarter there. And for the first play of the second quarter to be one that's that positive, I think that allows these guys to just take a deep breath and say, okay, we got to fight back. We're down 24 points. You just got to chip away, play good defense, control the ball, hold on to the ball, and maybe we can claw our way back into this Tiger fight.
Darlington Tigers football for you tonight on the live stream produced by Northwest Georgia Media and also on the radio. Could be listening on the radio tonight, 96.9 FM, 1410 AM, or online at WLAQ1410.com. Of course, on Wednesdays, we have the Coach Grove Show with head coach Wayne Groves of the Darlington Tigers that you can pick up on the WLAQ YouTube channel and Facebook live feed. I always invite you to tune in for that. But right now, Ade about to kick it off here to the Temple Tigers. Going to have C.J. Gray lining up about the 14-yard line. That's going to be an onside kick attempt. The Tigers are able to fall on the ball, and it looks like they have nope.
I think Ade touched it before it went 10 yards, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
Touched
And
it too soon.
I think I love the call. I love the call. You want to swing the momentum, and Ade made a good run at it there, but I think he did touch it a little early. I know that's frustrating for Tiger fans, but the ball has to travel 10 yards before you can touch it.
Wayne Groves out there pleading his case to the officials a little bit. White Hat walking over to the Temple sidelines to talk things over there with Coach Nix. Got 11:45 left to go in the second quarter. Darlington Tigers just scored on a big play there. 75 yards for Jace Donaldson to get the first points of the game for Darlington. After a really, really tough first quarter of the football game, injury to the quarterback, Sammy Konchesky, with 4:35 left to go in the quarter. A safety and a couple of turnovers and a few quick scores there by the Temple Tigers. And big hill to overcome early in this game. And like you said, Ian, man, all of that happened so quickly.
Oh, man,
blink
blink
your
of an eye.
eyes.
Blink of an eye. It's crazy. I don't know what the discussion here is. Or if this is something that could be overturned. But Darlington's certainly lobbying their case.
But as it results, it looks like Temple's coming back to the line of scrimmage, which is going to be at the 48-yard line of Darlington's side of the field. They say it was illegally touched, as we pointed out, and so the Temple Tigers go to the line of scrimmage. Quarterback on this possession looks like it's going to be Ashton Eskew. They're working from right to left. Again, they start at the 48-yard line in Darlington territory. Quarterback Eskew takes the snap. They're going to run it towards the near side. Flag came in on the play. That was Jones with the carry.
I think we may get, we've seen this call go against the Tigers, but the chop block there going against Temple. Yes, we are. All right. Nice to see that one go the other way for once this season. That's a big call there. Tigers took a very calculated and necessary risk trying to get the onside. Didn't work out. Gives Temple good field position, and now that'll back them up 15 yards, put them behind the chains, giving the Tigers a chance to get a stop here.
So a 15-yard penalty, and they'll march off the yardage. And it'll be back at the 41-yard line, so a good break there for the Darlington Tigers defense for sure. And we got 1st and 21 here for the Temple Tigers.
We've seen Darlington get flagged for that so many times this season. It's refreshing to see one go the other way.
Indeed it is. Going to have a wide receiver on the far side, one on the near here for Temple. Temple's uniforms are all black, and the helmets look like the Cincinnati Bengals except for gold chrome. There's a quick toss. They're going to go to the right side with it in the hands of number 5, McAnallen. He is going down towards the 40-yard line, and that's going to be a big pickup there by McAnallen.
Yeah, toss play there. I thought Trenton Moore got held, but no flag came out. And when you seal the edge like that, that's when those toss plays and getting out on the perimeter, that's when they're successful.
18-yard pickup there for McAnallen. That sets them up in 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, got all the penalty yardage and then some.
It was 1st and 21. Quarterback under center, ready to take the snap. It's Eskew. We've seen 2 quarterbacks tonight here for Temple by design. Jackson Gribben is the other one, but right now it's Eskew. He'll take the snap, turns, hands it off. Collision between the Temple Tiger carrying the ball and a defender, and they finally wrap him up. A horde of Tigers bring him down. C.J. Gray at about the 38-yard line, rather.
Yeah, good tackle there, but Gray was able to get that forward and pick up the first down. We've got a Temple Tiger on the turf, Matt, so we might have a chance to step away.
Injury timeout.
All right, so we're going to take the timeout with them. 31-7 is your score. Darlington Tigers trail in this one. 10:20 left to go in the second quarter. Injury timeout, back in 30.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
After the big pickup there, and the ball's at the 38-yard line in Darlington territory. Going to send a wide receiver to the near side. Quarterback under center takes the snap. They're going to hand it off, give it to Jones, and the defense is there. Moore in on the tackle. A couple other guys were there too.
Yeah, Stuart Grigsby was also on the tackle, and that was JoJo Jones on the carry, coming in for C.J. Gray.
So the ball's not going to be at the Darlington 39 after they lost a yard there on the play. That brings up second down and 11 here for this high-octane offense with Temple Tigers. Going to send a wide receiver to the near side. I don't have him on my roster. Quarterback under center, takes the snap, quick pitch to the right, going to run down the sidelines, and he's going to go in untouched. It's going to be a big run there, about 38 yards there for the Temple Tigers. And right now, Coach Groves is pretty. Oh, there's a flag on the play. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was what that flag was. It was thrown after he was in the end zone. So I'm not sure if that was an unsportsmanlike or if they called a hold downfield. Unsportsmanlike against Darlington.
Ooh.
Jeez.
So that's going to turn into what, a 38-yard run there.
My goodness.
I forgot to write down the ball carrier.
Oh, it was number 11?
Number 11.
Yeah, it was McClan Mateer there.
So we get ready for the point after here, and now it's 37-7 in favor of the Temple Tigers, playing here tonight on their home field of Rogers Stadium. Elevated visiting stands. It's an interesting look. Never seen anything like it.
It is. That's a great vantage point. The aromas are a little bit unsettling, but
they have a sewer that runs underneath the stand, so they had to elevate it 20 feet above it for regulation. But we get ready for the extra point. And every now and then you do get a waft that comes through. It's not quite as delightful as the hamburger waft that we get at a lot of places, but here comes the kick, and that one's going to be through the uprights, and that's going to move the score to 38-7.
So Darlington on the first play of the second quarter hit a 75-yard touchdown run with Jace Donaldson. They attempted an onside on the ensuing kickoff, but Ade DeSalu touched it just shy of traveling that 10 yards, and that's how it was ruled by the officials on the field. There was some discussion, but Temple had great field position. There was a chop block that backed him up, but C.J. Gray was able to overcome that with a couple of good runs. He left with an injury, and 2 plays later, we watched McClan Mateer kick it out wide and take it to the house. And Temple is in control of this ball game with a 31-point lead.
The Tigers remaining on the season. This is game 9, so 1 week left of the regular season. And I believe with the win last week, they secured a playoff spot. So it all comes down to seeding and things of that nature the rest of the way. But going to have another tough road trip coming up next week, heading to Bremen.
Yeah, the Blue Devils are always a gritty opponent.
Davis Russell is the head football coach of that team. And for Georgia fans, obviously they remember the name Irk Russell, legendary coach, and that's his grandson, the coach of the Bremen Blue Devils.
Comes from a good coaching pedigree.
Indeed he does. So we get ready for the kickoff here from Beckham Tull here in just a couple of moments. He trots to the ball. And there's the kick. They kick it over towards the corner on the far side. It's going to be fielded and brought out by Zayden Simpson. He cuts towards the near side of the field, trying to find a seam, cuts inside and gets down to about the 42, 43-yard line. So a good piece of running there by Simpson.
Yeah, I mean, that is a freshman out there making some big plays. We've seen Simpson more and more as this season's gone on, and he's earning the accolades. Nice return there.
So the Tigers will go back to the drawing board, trailing 38-7 with 9:24 left to go in the first half. That quarterback is Nate Konchesky, who had to come into the game at 4:35 left in the first quarter after an injury to his brother, Sammy Konchesky, and had to leave the game. Tigers going to send a wide receiver to the near side, one to the far side, working from left to right. Nate under center, ready to take the snap. Man motions off to the left, and they're going to hand it off and try to run this ball up the middle. With the carry there for the Tigers was quarterback Nate Konchesky. Positive play for the Tigers.
Yeah, pulled the dive, picked up a few yards. And you can tell they're trying to simplify things for Nate. He certainly wasn't expecting to play. I'm sure he was ready, but Sammy, this first injury Sammy sustained that's kept him off the field as long as he's been a Darlington Tiger.
I was thinking the same thing. I didn't want to say it in case I forgot something, but Nate under center taking the snap. There's the pitch. Going to go to the near side with Bodie Powers. A flag comes in. He did get about 3 or 4 yards, but let's see what this flag is.
I think they might get Jace.
On a hold.
Blocking the back, perhaps.
Waiting for the white hat to give the signal here, and it's a hold.
Yeah. Well, that'll back the Tigers up. The Darlington fans are staying engaged and encouraging their team in the face of a lot of adversity tonight.
Going to have some college football for you tomorrow on the airways of WLAQ. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, who've been pretty banged up the last couple of weeks, they're heading up to Blacksburg, Lane Stadium, to take on the Virginia Tech Hokies.
They call that one the Tecmo Bowl.
That's a good name for it.
Yeah.
Nate's going to be under center here for the snap. Takes it. It's going to turn. Fakes the handoff. It's going to run. And he's able to pick up a few yards there. That's going to set up third down. Still a very long way to go here for the Tigers on offense to convert here.
And I don't know if you risk a pass here or not. Third and long. But we'll see if Nate attempts his first throw.
So the ball's at the Darlington 37-yard line, so it's going to bring up third down and long here for the Tigers. They got about 15 yards to go to get the first down. Everybody's going to be in tight for this formation as Nate takes the snap. He's got it, fakes the toss, and he is almost brought down, throws a pass, almost connected with Noah Duggan. He takes a shove after the play was incomplete.
Nate frustrated there. He was able to avoid the sack and get that ball off. He almost completed it to Duggan, but he couldn't rake it in. And you can see Nate's frustrated. He wants to go out there and lift his team up, and he's been thrust into a tough position.
Number 8, Zayden McDaniel, is going to be back to attempt to receive here for Temple as we get ready for the punt from Trenton Moore, as the Tigers have to punt on this possession. So we get ready for the snap to Moore. He's got the ball, low snap, has to pick it up off the ground, and he will kick the ball. Oh, it goes off one of the players, and it is going to be picked up by Parton, who's going to run the ball off towards the far side, and we brought down, and that is going to be a turnover on downs for the Tigers, and another special teams difficulty there. Going to give the ball to Temple at the 22-yard line in Tiger territory. That was not good.
No, I think Trenton thought, he thought about running it there for a second and then realized he needed to kick it, and I think that might have ricocheted off of one of his teammates.
I think you're right.
So if it can go wrong, it's gone wrong tonight.
Yeah, things have, you hate to say it, but just calling it like it is, things have really fallen apart here in this football game after the injury to Sammy Konchesky. And we talk about his prowess and how hard he plays at the quarterback position and on defense, but also the leadership that he offers the team as well. And it's been difficult to overcome for sure, the loss of him in this game, towards the end of that first quarter of the football game. So now Temple is gifted with a short field once again, and they lead at 38-7. They're going to have first down and 10. And they're starting at the Darlington 22. They're going to hand the football off, and JoJo Jones has got it, carries the pile down inside the 10. So that'll be a first down. It's first and goal for the Temple Tigers.
Boy, they love that little trap play that has been successful all night. Coach Groves trying to get his defense to engage. You've got to play assignment football here to stop this offense, and Tigers were doing such a good job of it early in the game too. I just feel like they've kind of lost their spirit here a little bit with everything going the way it has.
Quarterback under center, that's Gribben getting ready to take the snap. He turns, hands off the football, and running into the end zone untouched is going to be the coach's son, Hudson Nix, with another Temple Tigers touchdown. That's going to move the score to 44-7 with 7:02 left to go here in the second quarter of the football game.
I don't think there's a person in this stadium, I don't care if you're a Temple fan or a Darlington fan, that thought that this would be the situation midway through the second quarter.
Definitely
not a chance. We talked to both coaches. I don't think if you asked Coach Nix if this would be the case, he wouldn't believe it either.
100%. He was preparing himself for a fight, and not that the Tigers are not fighting, but they've just had so much adversity in this game. It's hard to overcome, but there's a spark as Jace Donaldson comes in and blocks the extra point attempt, and that's what you got to do, man. You just got to
keep trucking,
dig deep, gut it out, and like you say, keep on trucking.
In honor of the fallen Phil Lesh, keep trucking.
Indeed.
Oh man, and Jace has been close. If you've been watching those extra points, he's been sniffing the block. That time he got off the edge and made a heck of a play.
All right, folks, 44-7. Your Tigers trail, 7:02 left to go here in the first half of play. You're listening to Tigers football on WLAQ or watching on the live stream. Do want to take an opportunity, since we've got a couple of moments, to recognize everybody involved in the broadcast tonight. Ian Griffin is here with me tonight on color commentary. Thank you, Ian. We appreciate you, man. I'm Matt Davis, Lynn Butler back at the studio. As far as the video crew is concerned tonight, you got Benton Potts and Noah Travis on press box cameras. Replays, Nathan Patterson. Director is Mike Garrett. And of course, we've got our intern with us tonight, Grayson Atkins, who's going to provide us some stats here coming up at halftime and at the end of the game. We certainly appreciate his effort making the long road trip with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always fun to work with this wonderful group of people.
It is. It is a fantastic group that does a fantastic job.
Toll trots to the ball, kicks it away. The Tigers hoping for a big return here. The ball is going to bounce back, goes into the corner of the end zone, and that is going to be a touchback. Tigers will get it at the 20.
Thought that thing was going to put the brakes on just to, rub a little salt in the wounds, man.
Oh. It's been a tough game. There's no way to candy coat it tonight.
No.
44-7 is your score. 7:02 left to go in the second quarter. And again, the Tigers here trying to dig deep and find the positives that they can in a really difficult situation tonight here in Temple, which is in Haralson and also Carroll County. I don't know which county we're in.
Is there more of it in one county than the other?
I really don't
Somebody
know.
knows the answers to those questions. Not us.
No, we do not. We do not. We didn't go that far into the research. Thought about it. There's the snap. Going to hand it off and try to go up the middle there with Noah Duggan. And not much doing there up the middle as the defense is able to form a wall and stop that play before it got started. So got about a yard. Hard effort.
Yeah. I mean, look, these Tigers will keep fighting. It's an uphill battle right now. And when you don't have, Sammy makes a lot of plays. He extends a lot of plays with his feet. You take that element out, and that's not a knock on Nate at all. He's not been in this position. He hasn't had the chance to really get out there in this situation and run this offense. So he's got to get the reps.
Two wide to the near side, one on the far side. Nate is under center. Got a running back right behind him, a fullback. They're going to fake the handoff to the fullback. Flag comes in, though, so this play is going to be blown dead.
And there was a hit after the whistle there, and Darlington faithful aren't happy about it.
Interesting situation at the end of the season this year. That's a change. They were going to have a bye week during the playoffs, Thanksgiving weekend. That was going to be a wrinkle to the season this year once you get into the playoffs. But because of all the storm activity they had with the hurricanes and whatnot, some teams in certain areas couldn't get in all the regular season games by the end of the regular season. So they're going to extend the regular season a week, and teams that finish on time, they'll essentially have a bye week before they start the playoffs. And that would be good for teams that are banged up right at the moment. Under center is Nate Konchesky, going to hand it off. They try to run up the middle, but it's all plugged up. Nothing there, and they'll take a loss on the play.
Yeah, Temple just teeing off on the dive play right now.
So that's going to bring up third down here for the Darlington Tigers, and they've got 15 yards to go after the loss. So the Tigers going to try to come up with a little spark here, see if they can get in a little bit better position before they more than likely have to punt this football. Nate goes off to the sidelines, gets the play call, comes back to the line of scrimmage, going to have a wide receiver on each side. On the near side, it's Trenton Moore. Going to have another one on the far side, Jace Donaldson. Konchesky takes the snap. He's going to quick toss here. Gets it into the hands of Jason. He's going to be brought down. Ball came out, but I believe he was down before it came out. But right now, Temple has the ball and is running it back towards the end zone. That was number 11 who came out with it, McClan Mateer. It was fumbled. McClan returns the fumble and gets it around the 10-yard line. So another tough situation there.
Yeah, Temple will start a fourth drive in the red zone of the Darlington Tigers. I did not see the ball count. I thought Jace was down and looked at my papers, and then I saw them running the other way. So, and that looked like they initially ruled him down and then stuck with the fumble. And that's the call on the field, and there's no changing it.
And they roll back to the line of scrimmage here with 1st and goal from the 9. Quarterback under center is going to be Ashton Eskew. He gets ready to take the snap. He's got the ball, turns, hands it off, goes to JoJo Jones, and good job by the defense to bring him down right there close to the original line of scrimmage. So not a big gain there at all.
No, not at all. Well defended there by the Tigers with their backs against the wall.
Got about a yard out of that play, so that rolls them down to the 8-yard line, bringing up 2nd and goal from the 8 for the Temple Tigers, already leading at 44-7 with 4:42 left to go here in the first half of play.
I'm telling you, there are people back in Floyd County that won't believe this score when they see it. They will think it is an error. This is not a reflection of how good this Darlington team is. It has just been a perfect storm.
Eskew getting ready to take the snap. There's the toss sweep, ball on the turf. Jones, and it's going to be recovered by the Darlington Tigers and Jace Donaldson. Good heads-up play, and the Purple Tigers get the ball right back. Thank goodness.
I tell you what, Jace Donaldson, who coughed that one up on the last Darlington possession, able to get it back for his Tigers there. Temple puts it on the turf. Darlington makes him pay. Jace now has a 75-yard touchdown run, a blocked PAT, and a fumble recovery. So certainly putting his name in the hat, and he's done it before. I think he's won it twice, right?
He has, indeed.
So he's looking for a hat trick when it comes to our honeymoon bakery icing on the cake player of the game, that is.
Using a little bit of a hockey term there.
Yeah, you can pull him in.
Hockey season's underway now. I mean, Nate Konchesky under center takes the snap, going to toss the football, gets it out to Duggan, I believe. And he's going to be brought down. No, I think that was actually number 13
yeah.
Levi Duggan. Yeah. So I was right about the Duggan, but at first I thought it was Noah.
It's a Duggan.
It was a Duggan.
Apparently there have been Duggans at Darlington for a long time. We talked to Coach about that. So it's a legacy. And Levi looking to step up. He's contributed more and more every week these past few weeks.
So that's to be a loss of 2, 2nd down and 12 as Konchesky rolls up under center. Nate Konchesky, a wide receiver to the near side. There's the snap, going to fake it to the B-back. Quarterback's going to run the football, gets out to about the 20-yard line, so he got the yards lost on the previous play back, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and about 11.
We had a Temple player on the turf, but he popped up quickly. It was Trey Clark.
At the 10-yard line. Brings up 3rd and 11.
So 3rd and 11 for the Tigers. Darlington Tigers, they're at the 10-yard line. Everybody going to be in tight for this series, it looks like, or for this down. Nate Konchesky ready to take the snap here for Darlington. And man motions off to the left, going to be a pitch to Donaldson, and he's going to be brought down into the end zone.
They rolled the forward progress back around almost the 4-yard line, though, Matt. So I think they knew the toss was coming. They sniffed that one out, and we're all over it.
So the ball will be spotted at the Darlington 4-yard line, and they will have to punt it out of the end zone here as Moore is out onto the field here for the Darlington Tigers.
And, you know, we know Twyman's hurt. He's not out there playing B-back. He's still snapping it, but that ankle's giving him problems no matter what. He's had a couple of snaps, which is so uncharacteristic. Has to be a result of his injury.
So Trenton Moore to punt it away. Jaden McDaniel is standing at the 30-yard line, hoping to return this punt. It flies over his head, bobbles it around at about the 50-yard line. He picks it up, tries to cut inside, and he's going to be brought down by a host of Tigers at the 48-yard line on Darlington's side of the field.
A perfect snap on that one by Twyman, and a booming kick from Trenton Moore out of his own end zone, forcing the return man to field it on a hop, almost fumbled it, and then great coverage downfield by the Darlington special teams.
So Temple will have first down on Darlington's side of the field at the 48-yard line with 2 minutes to work with, already leading this thing 44-7. So Darlington really hoping that the scoring has ended for this Temple team here in this first half, but they got to try to come up with a stop here, already with Temple on their side of the field. Quarterback under center, get ready to take the snap. This time it's going to be Jackson Gribben. He is going to hand it off. And good job by the defense to string JoJo Jones out for a loss.
Yeah,
back to the
defense.
45.
Excellent pursuit there.
Trenton Moore there with the stop.
Trenton Moore with the big punt and then a nice tackle for loss. Stringing a few good plays together here. That's all you can do here. Try to climb back in this ball game. Keep fighting.
So the ball now at the 49-yard line, but the Temple Tigers, after the loss of 6, is back on their own territory. Dropping back is Gribben, going to throw a screen pass, and a heavy hit from the Darlington defense, and Jace Donaldson stops him in his tracks. That was C.J. Gray who caught it coming out of the backfield.
A bone-rattling, clean tackle there by Jace Donaldson, who sniffed out the screen and put Gray on his back and buried him in the turf and sets up a big 3rd down and long here.
So Temple will come back to the line of scrimmage with less than a minute to go here in the first half, leading it 44-7, 50 seconds left on the clock. This is 3rd down and 16 as quarterback Gribben rolls up under center. He's got a couple of wide receivers, one on each side, double slot formation. Quarterback rolls back, looking to throw, put some air under this one. Good spiral, and that's going to be incomplete. Kind of threw it to the back shoulder of that receiver, and that is incomplete to Mateer.
And we're calling his name a lot. Jace Donaldson all over that coverage, broke that pass up, and will force the punt. Only 35 seconds left. I would imagine Darlington will field this thing and take it to the locker room and try to regroup.
So the punter, who's also one of the quarterbacks, Jackson Gribben, about to put the boot on this one and kick it back to the Tigers with 35 seconds left to go. And we still wait on the snap. There it is. Here comes the kick from Gribben. It's going to be a spiraling kick that drops him. Will be brought out by Donaldson. He gets hammered at about the 17-yard line, so wasn't able to get anything on the return there.
Yeah. Fielded it and gives Darlington a chance here. They do have all their timeouts, but without Sammy out there, I don't see him taking a lot of risks in the passing game here. Probably just see him either take a knee or run a couple of dives and get to the locker room.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. You just want to not have any more damage here, and like you say, just try to regroup and see what you can put together in the second half of the game.
Darlington does receive the second half kickoff.
Nate Konchesky rolls up under center, everybody in tight. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff, is going to put the ball in the air, and it falls incomplete to Noah Duggan.
They tried to hit Duggan out in the flat, and it got tipped.
So an incomplete pass sets up a 2nd and 10 here for the Darlington Tigers, who started this drive at their own 20. Going to have a wide receiver to the near side. That's Trenton Moore. Also for this package, you got Zayden Simpson. He split wide to the far side, the left side. Nate Konchesky up under center. He gets ready to take the snap. He's got the ball. He's going to throw a quick out to the near side. Gets it in the hands of Trenton Moore. No room for him to run, and he's going to be dropped at around the line of scrimmage. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 10, maybe 11.
And Groves is taking off the headset. That'll be the last play of the first half.
2 seconds on the clock, and that is the end of the first half. And what a difficult first half it was for the Darlington Tigers. They trail now at halftime 44-7, and we'll recap when we come back from the break. But we're glad you're with us tonight. If you're listening on the radio, if you're watching on the live stream, wish we had a happier story from the first half, but it was tough sledding. And the Tigers trail it. Darlington does 44-7 to Temple. We're back in 3 minutes.
Coosa Steel is a family-owned full-line steel service center located in Rome, Georgia. Since 1972, we've been working to make our customers more efficient by providing steel product supply and processing all in one place. We are proud to provide a large range of products, including hot rolled and cold finished steel, stainless steel, galvanized steel, aluminum, and alloys. Our capabilities enable us to assemble and process steel orders within days, shortening your lead time. Coosa Steel, steel for your project.
Water is the building block of life. At Abernathy Pump Service, we ensure you have the clean, reliable water you need. Whether it's water treatment, pump repair, or installation, our experts are here to serve both residential and commercial clients across North Georgia. With decades of experience, we guarantee top-notch service and quality you can trust. For all your water needs, choose Abernathy Pump Service. Because water is life, and we're here to keep it flowing. Call us today to schedule your service.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our 2 founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
Welcome you back as we get ready for the halftime show here at the home of the Temple Tigers. We're at Rogers Stadium tonight in Temple, Georgia. As we mentioned to you earlier in the pregame and maybe a couple of times there in the first half, that if you're wondering where Temple is, well, you basically go down 27, and part of it's in Haralson County and part of it's in Carroll County. I don't know why. I just love saying that for some reason.
Well, but it was a scenic route we took today. It was beautiful.
It really was. It was a beautiful drive here. And, of course, one of the things that we're seeing happening a little bit later this year is the pop of those fall colors. But, man, in the next week or so, it's going to be unbelievably beautiful with all the rain that we had there in September. I hadn't seen a drop of it here in October. Which is kind of funny because it's feast or famine.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's going to be awesome. And, of course, tonight we're getting some real fall temperatures at this game. When we started the game, we were mid-70s. We've dropped down to about 63, and that'll probably be close to where we are when we get to the end of the night. But right now we're being entertained by the Temple Tigers Marching Band doing a fine job tonight here on their home field. And the Temple Tigers are up 44-7 here on senior night over the Darlington Tigers. And Ian, it was a tough first half, and it all goes back to the 4:35 mark of the first quarter. At that part of the game, nobody had scored. Sammy Konchesky goes down with an injury on defense and had to have some help off the field. Didn't look good. Didn't figure we were going to see him back in the game at that point. And then just things kind of fell apart. He had a touchdown run right after that by McAnallen. That was the first points of the game. After that, there was a safety that took place against the Tigers. All of a sudden, Temple was up 9-0. And then after a 10-yard run from McAnallen again, all of a sudden they were up 17-0 with 2:16 left to go. All of that had happened in the span of a couple of minutes, and then it just kept piling on. I mean, we could sit here and recap the rest of what happened, but at the end of the day, as you pointed out several times, everything bad that could happen to the Darlington Tigers in that first half did.
Four fumbles lost.
Yes.
5, I think, have hit the turf. I think they got back on top of one of them. I may be wrong there. A punt off your own teammates' rear end. Safety. Your starting quarterback has injured his ankle. It looked like an ankle injury to me. That may not be correct. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to come back in this game. Yeah, if it could go wrong, it went wrong. And it's unfortunate. It's a tough spot to be in. Trying to rally the troops there in the locker room.
Definitely took the wind out of the Tigers' sails. No doubt about it. As soon as Sammy went out of the game, everybody knew what he means to this offense, this team, and also what he does on defense and his leadership role with this football team. But the Tigers dug deep. They kept plugging and ended up scoring on a big play there. Only touchdown there the first half on a 75-yard run from Jace Donaldson. Got him a little spark going. But, again, tough sledding there for Darlington.